The most common question asked in League is, how do I get better? When someone asks a streamer, how do I climb with such bad teammates? The answer most often given is, get good. But how does one get good? What is the difference between someone in Diamond and someone in Gold? Watching someone play League of Legends doesn't necessarily tell you their rank in League of Legends. It can be very difficult to tell how good a person is just based off one game. The only real pointer we have to someone's skill is their rank. So what does improvement mean, and how do you improve at League? Now, before I go any further, let me say this. This is not a video about strategy. It won't tell you what champion to play, what items to buy. You won't actually get any better at League from finishing this video. The purpose is to help you see, visualize, and understand what improvement really is. To understand the difference between you and someone who is better than you at the game. At the heart of all this is one simple message, and that is you must work hard in order to improve. There are no shortcuts on the path to improvement. If you just want to play for fun, go play normals. Go play normals and go fap. It's much better, trust me. So what is the difference between you and someone who is better than you at League? It is actually very simple. What makes a player better than another player is the level of their basics. Your basic skills determine how good you are at the game. It's easier to think about it like this. Pretend for a minute that League is not a MOBA game, but a role-playing game, an RPG like Skyrim or World of Warcraft. Now pretend that you are a character in this game. Not your champion, but you the player. You are the character. In RPGs, characters have stats that they can level up and get stronger, such as speed, strength, vitality, wisdom. Your League character will have 4 stats that you will have to improve and upgrade in order to get better. Those 4 basic skills are map awareness, mechanics, game knowledge, and attitude. These basics can be rated out of 5, with 5 being the best and 1 being the worst. The difference between you and someone who is better than you is that they have better basics on average. Now, this does not mean that someone who is higher ranked than you will have better basics in all 4 categories. It just means that overall, they are more consistent in their basics. For example, a Diamond support player might not have better mechanics than a Gold mid laner, but his game knowledge and map awareness are several times better. So let's look at all 4 basics and what it means to improve at each one. We'll start with the one that most people associate with getting better, which is mechanics. When people try to improve, this is the first thing that they go to. Most people just assume because their mechanics aren't good, it's why they aren't climbing. And it is true that most people don't have good mechanics, but the sad truth is there aren't a lot of resources in order for you to improve those mechanics. Now, there are certain ways to enhance things like your reaction speed by playing games like Aim Booster, but certain sports athletes and coaches will claim that reaction speed is actually mainly genetic, and if you don't have that gift, you would only improve your reaction time with training by about 10 to 20%. However, the good news is that speed is not the only thing that's important. A sprinter does not only focus on his speed, but also his form. If his form is poor, he can't maximize his speed. So even if someone is mechanically gifted, if they don't know about proper animation canceling, stutter stepping, or orb walking, they won't really get too far. So how good are 5-star mechanics? A player's mechanics can be difficult to judge until you see them make a really big, cool play. Here's a gauge that you can use with TSM members. 5 out of 5 mechanics is Bjergsen, 4 out of 5 mechanics is Dyrus, 3 out of 5 mechanics is the odd one, 2 out of 5 is Reginald, and 1 out of 5 is Reggie's mom. Now, mechanically speaking, most of us are somewhere between Reggie and his mom. The biggest thing, of course, for mechanics is practice. You have to practice. You can't get a combo down perfectly? Go in a custom game and practice. You can't farm that well? Go in a custom game and practice. You can't flash over a certain wall? Practice, practice, practice. Next up is game knowledge. This is the easiest and the hardest basic to level up. It's really easy because all you have to do is study. It's hard because studying is fucking boring. I mean, aren't we all playing because we're procrastinating and don't feel like studying? There are so many league concepts and strategies that a player must be familiar with and able to apply in their games. Minion control, proper trading, rotations, shot calling, objective and vision control, item builds, champion counters, roaming, pressure, turrets, and that's just the basics. Game knowledge does not just include an understanding of the game, but memorization of champions. A big difference between good and bad players is that very little ever surprises a good player. When a good player sees something like this, they'll say something like, oh, it's Diana. She insta-jibs me. No surprise there. Players with high game knowledge can remember how much damage every single champion does with the items that they have, when their power spikes are going to be, how their combos will come down, what they're going to look to do in a team fight before they even do it. Having great game knowledge can close that gap of poor mechanics. It's just like Immortal's Pobelter says, I don't have good mechanics. My reaction times are actually really slow, but I can predict where the skill shots are going to come from. When I dodge, it has nothing to do with mechanics, it's all prediction. Everything you need to know about getting better at this game can be found online for free. You don't need any sort of coaching or special website to do it. If you're really new to the game, you can straight up just hop on the Wikipedia and start reading through champions. There are tons of great resources for improvement, such as LOLking guides, op.gg replays, replay.gg, probuilds.net. You just have to be willing to sit down and learn all the concepts of this game. This basic is completely dependent on how fast you can learn and apply game concepts into your own game. Now, to gauge your game knowledge, let's use Cloud9 members this time. 5 out of 5 would be Cloud9 High, 4 out of 5 would be Bunny Fufu, 3 out of 5 would be Balls, 2 out of 5 would be former coach Charlie, and 1 out of 5 would be High's mom. Next up is map awareness. Now, map awareness is not just being able to check the minimap, but also understanding the map. Knowing what to do with the information that is given you is just as important as actually getting that information. You need to be able to develop the habit of routinely looking at your minimap, not just when your allies are pinging you. A great tool to develop this habit is the minimap beeper. It routinely beeps every few seconds to remind you to check the minimap. If you're struggling with map awareness, this is what you need. Again, it's a lot of practice, a lot of games in order to be able to develop this habit. But once you do have this habit, you won't even need the beeper eventually. Now, to gauge map awareness, I'm gonna use animals this time. 5 out of 5 map awareness is like a chameleon, you don't miss anything. You can see everything around you and nothing slips by you. You can adapt and change to any single scenario that is given to you. 4 out of 5 would be like a hawk. You have a very good understanding of the minimap, you have a very good vantage point, almost nothing slips by your gaze. You check the minimap in between all of your last hits, and you understand the cause and effects of people's rotations. 3 out of 5 is like a deer. You routinely look up and check your surroundings, but you sometimes miss things, and those things can be fatal. 2 out of 5 is a human's map awareness. You only see what's in front of you. You rarely ever look back unless someone is telling you to. You're constantly distracted by the opponent and the farm in front of you. You never really examine what's around you, and it costs you quite often. And 1 out of 5 would be Donald Trump's dad, because he was completely blind to the piece of shit he raised. Last but not least, attitude. Your attitude plays a bigger part in winning or losing than people would like to admit. Having a good attitude doesn't just mean you don't flame your teammates when they're losing, but also when your team does poorly, you continue to play well. Many people who see that their teammates are feeding begin to go on tilt themselves. Not letting bad players affect how you play is a big part in how well you do. What do you do when you get a troll on your team? Do you rage at him? Do you tell the enemy to report him, give him 9 reports? Or do you try to talk him down? Do you try to say things like, come on man, just let me carry you? I'm gonna use different people to illustrate attitude. 5 out of 5 would be Pope Francis level. Nothing gets to you, you're unstoppably friendly, you bring people together, and you solve problems together. 4 out of 5 would be Ellen nice. You're always smiling, never any negative comments. Sometimes you get a little tilted from the things around you, but you're still pretty supportive. 3 out of 5 would be like Morgan Freeman. You don't talk much, and anything you say is mostly informational or straightforward, but it's very neutral and solemn. 2 out of 5 would be bitchy, upset girlfriend. There's some passive-aggressive comments, maybe they don't want to work with you, and they don't communicate properly, and the whole thing falls apart. And 1 out of 5 would be Tyler 1. Sorry, did I say Tyler 1? I meant Tyler's dad who abandoned him. Now, here's the good news. Even though there are 4 basics, you don't need to be proficient at all of them. There are challenger players with 5 out of 5 game knowledge, but only a 2 or a 3 in mechanics. Some have 5 out of 5 in mechanics, but only maybe a 2 or 3 in map awareness. Just like in a role-playing game, you can focus on what you want to specialize in. Are you a mage who relies on his knowledge of himself and others to destroy them? Are you a warrior who uses his pure, raw mechanical skill to overcome and overwhelm his opponents? Maybe you're a healer who brings people together. Or you're someone who focuses on all 4 of these things. Either way, all of these basics take work, practice, and research to perfect. Some of you watching might just not be playing enough every day. Most of us are not naturally talented at this game, so we need practice, patience, and dedication in order to overcome this. But in conclusion, the higher rank your character's stats are, the higher rank you will be. That is how you improve at League of Legends.